Welcome to the show that's unscripted, unfiltered, and uncontrollable.
Yo, let's go. Welcome in. Welcome to episode 1 of 2022. This is the Strength Kayfabe. I am CM Styles, also known as the Activated Styles, and with me is my new co-host, my wingman, Mr. Rob Chaos. How the hell are you, brother?
Doing pretty good, man. It's good to be here. It's good to have this thing going back.
I know, right, man? This has been like 2 years in the fucking making. We are unscripted, we are unfiltered, and we are uncontrollable. And as the question says, where is my face? You're not going to see faces on this podcast at all. We're going to keep this completely confidential, at least facial-wise. If you don't know my face by now, then you need to watch me on Sunday through Wednesday. That's the only way you're going to see this ugly
it's my
mug.
bad. My bad. Hold on. Can we run it back and just go with the chaos?
All right, we can definitely do that. We got Chaos on here, aka the Chaos Theory. My apologies, brother. Oh, well, I don't want to see your face. Anyway, tonight, this is basically going to be our introduction to the new format that we're going to have going on here. We are going to do a ton of retro feedback. Go all the way back to the golden era of wrestling, going into the Attitude Era, and also WCW, ECW, Ruthless Aggression, you know, the whole shebang. Also, Chaos himself will also have some input on certain, modern, today's wrestling, current generation. I'm also going to chime in on it as well from time to time. We're going to have a whole lot of shit that we're going to talk about.
We're gonna cover everything and anything. That's just the way I want to, I want to see it done.
Exactly, and like I said, Chaos and I, we've been here talking about this since the time I lived in Florida. We had plans on doing this during the time, of course, for those who have followed me for the last several years. I've been doing nothing but gaming podcasts. I tried to bring Destroying Kayfabe back last year around the time CM Punk showed up in AEW, and I didn't get to follow up with that. I've been so caught into my modern gaming and retro gaming aspect that basically everything I've done was completely left behind. But thanks to you mentioned it time and time again, and a lot of requests were made by other viewers.
And I'd like to butt in here and say one thing. One of the best speed runners in the world as far as gaming goes, Nintendo.
Appreciate that. Sadly, it's not me. It's got to be someone else. But I love speedrunning, dude. Speedrunning is one of my favorite hobbies now. I actually like to turn that into a job somehow. But for now, I'm happy where I'm at.
You're on the way, man. You're on the way.
I'm working on it. I mean,
got that shit down.
I speedrun Mario, and of course, as they say in chat, I speedwalk Barbie. I play a lot of Tetris. I'm a top 5 competitor on Nintendo World Championship, and I do want to start getting into some wrestling on PC and console soon. I do have a bunch of wrestling games on Steam, and once in a while I wouldn't actually mind streaming it or having it play in the background during a podcast just to make it look interesting. But yeah, so man, this is like, I'm telling you, this is kind of hitting me right now. I never thought we'd get to do this. Today I picked up a DVD set Raw, the beginning, best of seasons 1 and 2. It's supposed to be a 4-disc set, but apparently the free set I got had just like 2 discs out 4. But just the other day, I grabbed a ton of WWE TNA independent stuff that I had out in my storage unit. We'll be, observing that here and there. Like I said, we'll do some like Thursday nights or whatever, or even Wednesday nights whenever you have an opportunity. We can watch that. We can review over that, because a lot of the stuff that I like to do is some, retrograde material going all the way back to the original eras of what made wrestling what it is today. But I do want to try to get back into more modern style wrestling, watching more AEW. I do want to get my hands on some Impact once in a while.
Give me a second. I gotta check on something. To pause. I apologize.
Oh, no worries, brother.
Be right back.
While Chaos takes care of things, we're gonna cover as much material as possible every Friday night at 10 p.m. to about 11 p.m. Tonight we're just going to do a short stream, do the run through as we just cover aspects. Also, you guys as the viewers who are actually dedicated to wrestling like we are, we would also like to get your feedback on what you'd like to see us talk about as well. Rampage is on. Yes, it is on. Like I said, right now I'm not going to be doing my own reviews of today's wrestling just yet. I want to break into this first before we start, jumping forward. But I am super excited to actually finally do this. When I used to do this, I used to have a really large crew back in the day, and now, I'm actually going to consolidate a lot. But here and there, I would like to have special guests on that want to talk wrestling. So far, I think there's like 3 people. I know my one buddy from Australia wants to do it. And then I know we have Alex that's in our chat once in a while. He wants to, jump in on it. So here and there, I'll get whoever I can. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be the unscripted shows. Everything will be raw, unfiltered. And for those who don't like it raw, well, wear a raincoat. It's going to get a little wet in here. Raw and nasty, the way I like it. But so I'm super stoked, and hopefully everyone comes along for the ride. We're gonna have one hell of an hour every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Also, things I like to get, have happen down the road is maybe interviews here and there. If anybody likes, superstars of the past that are still kicking it, today's superstars I'd like to have on here, just like I used to do back on YouTube. The best part about all this production is a whole lot better now than it was when I started doing all this. Interviewed John Cena. I can't even see the guy. I doubt I'll be able to get him on here. But, honestly, I would love to interview him, because I've been following him his entire WWE career, minus OVW. For the fact that interview Chris Van Vliet, dude. Like, I don't know enough about him except for the fact that he likes to interview wrestlers, too. Now, I know he did have a huge take in AEW when it first launched on TNT. He would be at ringside once in a while, actually, plug in celebrities and stuff that were at the shows. So that was pretty cool. And hey, we got Rich in the chat. Welcome in, brother. Welcome to Destroying Kayfabe, your number one source for WWE and independent wrestling. I am going to change this here soon. I figured I'd use what I had. I'm gonna make an all new wallpaper for the stream. For now, I'm happy with what it's looking like, because we will be talking WWE. We're gonna be talking WWE the past, the present, and maybe the future as well. Because, once Chaos gets back, we're going to talk about one thing and one thing only on this, and that is WWE and Disney struck a deal. But I'm going to wait for him to come back before we start talking about that, and it's going to be interesting to see how he feels compared to how I feel, because it's more of a demographics market, so yeah. But let's just say right now I'm feeling pretty nostalgic about what I'm doing here. For y'all to be a part of this is going to be epic. And welcome in, Shu. Welcome to my podcast that I do now on Friday nights, which I haven't done since 2017, 2018. For those who don't know who I am on the side, I used to be a podcast personality on YouTube. And I did it from 2013 to about almost 2018. I quit doing it after a while because I got burned out about talking about Raw reviews. Raw kind of like soured down on me. I didn't care for it too much more. So I basically left the scene, was taking care of my kids, just being a family guy, just living life and enjoying myself. But after I left the state of Florida, moved back up here, took some time off, and now here I am, finally getting to do what I love. So I just hope everyone sticks around for the ride. Hopefully everyone enjoys himself with this, because I know I'm going to. And have you listened to Renee Paquette's, I forget how you say her name, Paquette? Renee Young. No, I've seen it on YouTube, but I haven't watched any episodes. But I've mainly stayed away from wrestling for quite some time. I watch highlights here and there. I don't watch full episodes like I used to. I'll be honest, I haven't watched much TV since moving home. I'm not a really big TV fan like I used to be. A lot of people doing a lot of WWE guys are doing podcasts now. Yeah, I hear Sami Zayn's doing too, except they're doing it on SmackDown Live. Yeah, I was actually in the Discord channel earlier, checking that out, and I had to see what the BS was about, so I quickly checked it out, and yeah, it Sami Zayn tonight was interviewing Jinder Mahal, and I forget who Jinder Mahal's bodyguard dude is like he needs a bodyguard, but it's the fact that he's got someone in his corner for him, and it's hilarious. Jinder's a beast as is, but the crowd starts booing, and out of nowhere you just hear Sami Zayn say, like, well, we're just going to edit the booing out of this podcast. Like, how can you try to do this? It was comedic relief to begin with, but this is not exactly what I expected WWE to do, but it's Sami Zayn and it works with his character, so so is this the only VOD that's not going to be on the VODs? No. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. Everything you see that happens on here is still going to be on the VODs as well. Everything's going to remain the same. Nothing's going to change. We're going to keep everything together just like on here and on YouTube. So, and that's a name I haven't seen in a while in here. Gatmore, what is up, homie? Welcome in, man. You are now watching the most unscripted, the most unfiltered, the most unadulterated and uncontrolled show on Twitch TV. You are watching Destroying Kayfabe with CM Styles and Chaos. So, but I'm just waiting on Chaos to return. So those flames got me pyroing. You know what's underneath all this flame right now, my dude? death nuts, and milk. Lots and lots of milk. Yeah, so, just kidding. I can't do that. This shit'll kill me. But, I'd rather eat 4 Big Macs, just for you guys, but I'm not going to. But, I'm looking forward to all this. I'm sure we're going to have a whole lot to talk about. Every Friday, no, let's not. Let's not. No. God, I'm going to hell. Oh, we're all going there. But, yeah. Like I said, for y'all that came in, we're going to talk past, present, future of wrestling. From WWF, WWE, WCW, TNA, NWA, ECW. I'd actually like to cover some companies that never made it to TV, like CZW. Got some companies like ROH, GCW. Oh, dude, GCW. I just saw what happened over the weekend with GCW. Zack Ryder, holy Jesus. Lucha Underground, that's definitely something that would be, that's worth talking about. That was a very short-lived promotion, but the thing was, it was wrestling, but with more in-depth story. Like, it was more of a soap opera than it was an actual promotion, but it worked for what was going on. If you remember Wrestling Society X, that's basically what Lucha Underground was, minus the explosions. It's like they took the format from WSX and made it what it is. Hype, the chicken coop's on fire. Chicken sounds good. But they had some amazing gals too. Were you talking Wrestling Society, or are we talking Lucha Underground still? Because, yeah, Lucha Underground did have some pretty beautiful women. But I'll tell you, one of my favorites in there was Marty the Moth. As a matter of fact, you can find him here on Twitch doing fitness and some modern gaming. I'm pretty sure he got a new PC to do all the modern gaming, which is awesome. Marty the Moth is great. Dude took a chair shot like a champ. And I was like, hey, great sell. That was one hell of an oversell. He's like, no, dude, that just fucking hurt. I was like, oh, I know. Of course, then you had Johnny Mundo. Let's see who else we had in there. We had Killshot. What's his name? Swerve Strickland. Or Shane Strickland. He was in there. Try to remember who was all in that company, man. He had so many people in there. I believe Ray was in there for a little bit too, which was great. He helped elevate the lucha business a bit. Yeah, dude. Like, I didn't get to watch Lucha Underground all the time. I didn't have the RA network, so I had to rely on outside sources, and that kind of sucked. But I took it with a grain of salt, and if I could, I know it definitely is. I know there's some places where you can still find material. So what I plan on doing with my co-host, Mr. Chaos himself, we're going to watch things on Thursday night. So when Friday comes around, what we have remembered, we're going to talk about then. That's the only part of the script we'll follow, is the material we do get to watch one more time. Stuff I never got to do on Destroying Kayfabe on YouTube is going to be it's going to be completely offset from how I used to do things. I'm not going to review Monday Night Raw anymore, not anytime soon anyway. From what I've been hearing, Raw and SmackDown, I mean, from what I hear, it's slowly amping up right now because it's the road to the Royal Rumble, which means after that it's the road to WrestleMania. But after WrestleMania, it's just gonna be watered down. It's not gonna amp up. If you want to keep the crowd going based off of events, keep the material hot. At least have one slowdown period per month. I mean, like right now, we have one big match for Raw, and that is Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Or as it says, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Who. Like I said, I watch Raw highlights. I will not watch an entire show anymore. It just, I can't sit through 3 hours of Monday Night Raw anymore. So it's just, it doesn't help me at all. Yeah, so Brock is back. He's been back for a while now, since SummerSlam. He returned to SummerSlam, and he's being managed by Paul Heyman again, so that helps him out. Don't mind me, guys. I'm still fighting God knows what. But when we were 10 years younger, Raw was worth wasting all money. Now, dude, when I was in my teens, Raw was worth watching. Raw was worth getting grounded for every week. So it was a pretty fun experience. I got to enjoy that shit. I got to live a good life with Monday Night Raw versus WCW, the Monday Night Wars. That's another thing we're going to talk about as well. The Monday Night Wars, that was one hell of a battle for several years. What was it? 84 consecutive weeks or something like that, or 54 weeks. Can't remember. Bischoff had a podcast based off of it. I think it was 84 weeks. That WCW just dominated WWF. Raw, Stone Cold versus Booker in a grocery store, dude. So that was basically post WCW. That was based right after the invasion angle. Or no, that was during the invasion angle. No. I think it was post. Yeah, it was post. Because Ric Flair ended up helping SmackDown while Vince had Raw. Or was it the other way around? I'd have to go back and actually watch it again. But yeah, I fear it was a little bit after. It wasn't too long after, but the whole thing between Booker and Stone Cold was great. Like Booker, he did that thing like a champ, man. Yeah, Flair was in a suit. God, man, these were the golden days for us. Or they are now anyway. I mean, the post Attitude Era, early Ruthless Aggression era, that had a whole lot of promise. So it stood to its word of entertaining. Now, I did miss a lot of content between 2000 to about 2006, mainly because I was serving in the military, but I tried to watch as much as I could during that time, so there's still a lot of shows I do have to rewatch and catch up on. Big salute, brother. Big salute. Since y'all are here today, I picked up a free game over at my mall in the free bin outside of it, and it had WWE 2K14, one of my favorite games. I have it on the PS3, but they had it on the 360 out there, so I brought that home, cleaned it up. I should get Peacock and watch Raw and SmackDown from Attitude and Ruthless Aggression era from 99 to like 2005. Now, I definitely could do that, but the only way I watch it is that the Peacock Network just gave everything for free, because honestly, I hear a lot of the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression era stuff has been heavily edited. Mainly because the Peacock Network doesn't like half of the material that's on there. So I'm really curious about it. They have a 30-day free trial. I mean, I know I'm on the internet almost all day and night, but like actually technically I'm lying to myself there. I'm not. I'm on the internet as much as I can. I'm usually running errands or doing doctor's appointments, but when I have an opportunity, I try to watch what I can. If I can't watch it there, I'm going to find another source. I'll be honest, I'm not going to waste a free trial and then have to pay to watch the rest of the material if I can just... I try to avoid that right there. I'll be honest. Only for the fact that, your provider's just like going after that kind of shit. And even if you run a VPN, you can still get busted somehow, some way. It all depends how you do it. Get a good one and then you're set. But yeah, plans for the next few weeks. We're gonna do some small highlights to start out with. Then we're gonna start, amping up the show to bigger and better things. Chaos and I, we're really looking forward to all this stuff. Hopefully whatever he's doing hopefully everything's alright his end. NordVPN, like the Twitch and YouTubers get sponsored from. Yeah. I have heard about that. But yeah, every episode is going to be something completely different. We will backtrack on certain shows, certain programs, certain promotions. Every other week will be completely different. We want to talk about just about every promotion that's out there, both good, bad, and ugly. And hopefully everyone joins us for the ride on that one. It's going to be completely fun to do. We do want to see chat room response on things that, they enjoyed the most about most promotions. Favorite feuds, favorite segments, favorite matches, favorite pay-per-views. What was your favorite show of all time? Favorite episode. Of course, every promotion has, well, at least a few of them had, they run off seasons and episodes. But it's gonna be a nice little grab for us all. We're definitely gonna knock this one out of the park, hopefully. Hopefully everyone, like I said, just chimes on in. If you're a wrestling fan, that's great. If not, if you knew anything from the back in the day and you do want to talk about that as well, we're here to listen about it. Because your response is important to us. Your viewership is important to us. You don't have to be 100% knowledgeable to everything that's happened back in the day. But if you remember something that you grew up to and you saw it and you want to say, hey, I remember when this happened, such and such. And if you just want to catch up on things, whatever you can get your hands on, like DJ Metal said in the chat, Peacock Network has the WWE Network on there now. And like you said, you can get a 30-day free trial. It'll be great for those who are starting out with WWE. For guys like me, I've watched just about as much as I could back then. The reason I stopped watching is because the WWE got stale to me. I'll be honest, there was nothing that was giving me what I wanted anymore. They basically what we call pussification. They softened the brands. The storylines are a whole lot more G-like than PG. Recently, like I said, they're trying to amp everything up now because they are going into the Royal Rumble. They're trying to intensify that, bringing the road to WrestleMania. So that's going to be interesting to see how it's going to all play out in the end. Who's going to win the Rumble? Who's going to be surprise entrants this year? So far, I did hear there's going to be some forbidden doors open on both the male and female brand. But sadly, the female one was already spoiled, thanks to Impact Wrestling. So spoilers are no longer spoilers anymore, and that kind of also ruins it with, for me. Wait, you can watch for free without a credit card? Oh, I didn't know if you could or not. But we are definitely going to have one hell of a time with this. But I got y'all here, and every week we'll try something and see how you guys want to do it. For those who are wrestling fans, let's hear your feedback on what you like to see, and if you want to talk about some of your favorite moments in wrestling history, feel free to do that as well. Just enter your email address and boom. Oh, nice. And of course, after the 30 days, I'll say if you'd like to subscribe to our services, you can do so by entering this information here. I'll have to check that out afterwards. So, while I'm also here as well, I'm sure everyone's probably wondering why I haven't streamed lately. I had a huge issue with my PC this week. I did a video card update and it completely screwed something up. I even ran DDU, uninstalled everything, reinstalled everything, and it screwed up my video drivers on all my screens. And I want to do a PC reset. Yes, I want to reset the PC. It asked, would you like to keep your files? I said, yes. Okay, restarting PC. PC reboots, no screen. Restarts, reboots, restarts. No video signal though, but I could tell it was resetting through with my keyboard. My keyboard would shut off and turn on. Well, usually I do back things up. I didn't expect it to do this, so it just luckily there was really not anything of importance except for some notepads that I was able to just make up again. So I did that and I recovered some of the important files that I had to do it manually, and I'm not worried about anything else. There was nothing else of importance anymore. All I really have on my solid state, my main drive, was like Steam, Origin, Epic, Battle.net, OBS. But I did have music, music, some videos, and photos. I lost all that stuff there. And of course, if you try to recover on a solid state, it's not going to happen. Think of your solid state like a smartphone memory card. When it's lost forever because it's more of a switch-based thing instead of a magnetic, like a mechanical drive. So, something I learned in IT school: switches versus magnetics. Once the switch turns off, that's it. It doesn't go back on. But Night.com. Where am I at?
Yo.
Hey, welcome back, dude.
My bad.
Oh, it's all good, man. Yeah, I was just here explaining to everyone what happened to my computer this week. Why I wasn't streaming at all. My the gaming part of this. Losing all my important stuff and semi-important stuff. You can download lots of programs.
What'd you do? A Windows update?
Oh no, I want to. You know how you have issues with your PC and you want to refresh it by like doing reset PC and it'll keep your files and then reinstall Windows?
Yeah.
Well, I did that and I clicked save all my files, keep it all together. Well,
Sure.
It reset, but it deleted all my stuff and it wouldn't reinstall Windows. So I had to go downstairs, use a different computer, make a copy of Windows 10, and
Dang.
it sucked. But I haven't done a clean install of Windows since like 2019, or maybe, no, 2018. So yeah, I had to start over fresh and well, I got all the programs I need for now. I don't need a whole lot of programs on this drive. I don't need this thing filling up quickly. But right now, I have all I need. I'm making all new material for the stream as well.
Nice.
But yeah, I gave them a rundown of things we can do, what we can talk about, mainly past, present, and the future of wrestling, what's going to happen.
Yeah. I definitely have some ideas too. So
Yeah, and like you said, you got 21 things you could talk about. One of the things we can start about tonight, we talked about this earlier, or at least we load about it. WWE and that big deal with Disney.
right.
Now, for those who don't know, it's an international thing more than it is, stateside. It has more to do with Indonesia. So it's
Yeah, it's a
kind
lot
of
of
weird how they have this going,
right.
but it's the fact that
Yeah, you got
Disney is involved in this.
yeah, you got to imagine it's a lot of distribution that this Disney has a distribution deal with the WWE, and they're selling off tapes and DVDs in Indonesia and other such places.
Yeah, I mean, it would benefit for them to have a digital library over there. I couldn't imagine anybody over there having a VHS player. Then again, I have quite a few here at home and in storage, just so I can watch my VHS copies of WWF King of the Ring.
You have a
Rumble, SummerSlam.
boss. You have a VCR. I don't believe it.
Dude,
I do believe it.
I have one right here in front of me. I have one on the other side of the room, and I have like 4 more out in my storage unit.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I bought a few
I remember
because...
the old. No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I only bought extras because my daughter, she actually watches VHS. And I buy her tapes once in a while, and I bring them up to her.
Okay.
So she's like, you still have VHS tapes? I was like, well, not only do I have VHS tapes, but so do all these stores in the area that I shop at. She's like, you do thrift, don't you? I was like, yes, I do. She's like, if you ever find this movie, can you get it for me? I was like, I can get you wherever you want.
Used to hit up the old Farmore and West Coast Video Update, all those places.
Speaking of Farmore,
Farmore.
now there's a Salvation Army over or up the road from here, and before it used to be a Farmore back in the 90s, early 2000s. I used to shop there all the time, man. And the fact that the ironic thing is the corner of where the video department was for, or the movie department for Farmore, is exactly where the thrift store has all the movies now. And I'm like, yes. So it's like nostalgic, but at the same time you go over there and you realize when you go inside, it doesn't look like Farmore anymore. It's just a rundown thrift store. And it's like, but who gives a shit? They have all kinds of stuff that once in a while they'll have like WWE DVDs too. The one that I go to most of the time, Community Aid, which is like 2 minutes up the road, they had a stack of WWE DVDs. And I went to grab them all, but some of them are John Cena DVDs. And I mean, I respect the guy, but I don't want to see a documentary about his life. That's his life, not mine.
Probably threw the Marine 2 in that bin.
Well, I have the first one. John Cena was in the second one. That was
Ted Cena was in the second one? Ted DiBiase, yeah. The first one wasn't as bad as the second one.
So it was Cena, DiBiase Jr., then it went to The Miz. They were going to do a Randy Orton one, but the Marine Corps found out about it, and they were like, no, he was discharged. Unhonorable.
I didn't know that.
He didn't get an honorable discharge, so they were like, we don't want him in it. So, so they said, well, Miz gets the spotlight again. Look, all right. But yeah. So yeah, we're going to cover a lot of retrograde, ladies and gentlemen.
Definitely.
We're going to cover past, present, future stuff. Present stuff, like I said, once in a while I'll try to catch a show or two. Like tonight, right now, Dynamite's on, so guaranteed we won't be able to cover Dynamite at all. I mean, if we do, what we could do is maybe even just like watch it somehow and just give our take on the matches or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds good to me, honestly. I mean, I would have to mute like the audio so it doesn't like pick up any algorithm on the stream. But other than that, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem watching it.
No, I would definitely be down with Dynamite or
do live
Rampage.
reactions because
Yeah,
as a matter
yeah.
of fact, I have a buddy that does that with TNA or Impact Wrestling.
I would be like I said, I would definitely be down with watching TNA too. I think I could definitely get into that.
Dude, I like if you want my honest opinion, the old school TNA was where it was at for me.
Oh yeah,
The
I used to
OG
watch tons
stuff.
of the old X Division. Yeah, when the X Division came around, people had to pay that respect. That was something that was
Yeah, I mean
uh
the X Division was like the cruiserweight, but
that
with no
was right.
limits.
That was the best thing since WCW's cruiserweight division, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude. And the best part is most of those TNA guys were WCW castaways. They were coming in right at the late moment, getting some
Oh
spotlight
yeah,
before
definitely.
NWA
Yeah,
TNA came into play.
sure.
Um,
It also put a lot of people on the map. I mean, I think that was when AJ Styles came into play.
yeah, well, he
Uh,
started
Frankie
right at the end
Kazarian,
of
and
WCW
even
too.
Daniels. Oh
AJ
yeah,
Styles
he
was
was
in.
definitely
He did some.
I
What
did.
was it? I forget if it was Nitro or Thunder that he was doing some matches on right before they
Yeah,
shut
it's probably
down.
Thunder. Yeah.
But yeah, it was him and Air Paris. They were Air Raid was their name.
Air Raid, that's right. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
so it was Paris and Styles, and it was great to see AJ, evolve in WCW at first. And if you never saw his documentary, which I have both volumes, he talks about everything. And I even have a high spots interview from him.
Spots, nice.
Like
Yeah,
one day I'd like to have AJ on the show down the road
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
because
I
I'll be
mean,
honest, I'm a
AJ
huge
to me
fan.
is yeah, me too. AJ's it has to be in the top three, the best wrestlers of the last
Yeah,
decade, without a doubt. It's
yeah.
just not even. I
There's
don't even
for
think it's
me it would be
debatable.
him, Orton, and Punk.
Hmm.
Those are my top three. And then if they wanted to do a Mount Rushmore,
Got the old
ooh,
RKO in there.
yeah,
I do believe that.
like
I don't know
younger
where I would have
Orton.
him.
The reason I like Orton is the fact that he came in young, cocky, but he was ready. And now
And
we
right,
grew up with the guy. We grew
sure,
well, not
sure, sure.
personally, but we got to grow up watching him wrestle back in 2003, 2004, right around the Evolution era.
And you got to admit that the Legend Killer thing was pretty good. They brought in like Jake the Snake at the time.
Yeah, they brought
Uh,
in all kinds of talent.
he went over Taker. He went over Mick Foley. So they actually that was something that they built right at the time, and I think that made him legitimate even back then.
Yeah, I mean, hell, the fact that he even RKO'd Eric Bischoff because he said, yeah, you can consider yourself a legend. As soon as Eric Bischoff was like, yeah, I'm a legend, and then he just realized, oh, I just see
Yeah,
what I did there. And then he took the RKO like a champ. I mean,
yeah,
he'll always go down as one of the greatest promoters of all time, and Orton's going to go down as one of the greatest sports entertainers of all time.
sure. That's a quality moment. I think I liked when they brought Bischoff back. Honestly, as a GM, I thought it was
It
Vince giving him
helped. It helped
Vince
in the
giving him the
Attitude
yeah,
Era and Ruthless
right, yeah.
Aggression.
Vince giving him the hug. That was hilarious. Honestly.
I mean, he put HLA in the WWE too, man. I mean, it didn't
Hmm.
get any better than that.
Yep.
So it's just like,
Bischoff has his Easy E has his place on the mantle of great promoters, in my opinion, much better than fucking Jeff Jarrett.
yeah, Jeff and Jerry taking.
Hey, I mean, yeah,
I mean, I respect him for bringing
yeah,
TNA
I
into the
agree.
mix, but
Hmm.
with all due respect to Jeff Jarrett's tenure as a promoter, it was an egotistical move too. He made the King of the Mountain, and he literally won that year after year, and that wasn't exactly idea how you run your promotion. I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
If you've
Agree.
seen all the shoots that happened to him, someone actually legit, one of the talents legit got pissed off enough that it turned into a shoot, and
Hmm.
I'm like, oh wow, there's some legit beef, and this company. It's like watching WCW, but the thing was, things like that actually helped the promotion a tad bit because it showed that wrestlers have emotion. You know, they're not just robots going out there wasting their body and their time. So it's just like, all right, well, this guy's real about it. Let's give him a push, maybe. And that's how things like that happen. That's how it starts. So, and yeah, Sting as well. You know, as soon as WCW died, not too long after, Sting actually jumped into the promotion. I believe he even helped Jeff Jarrett in the beginning. So that was a huge help for TNA. The fact that he went to TNA instead of the WWE during the invasion. So that also helped out as well. Sadly, the WCW staff that was still on the roster at the time, I felt bad for them, man. That invasion
he buried those motherfuckers.
Oh, I know.
It was inevitable. It was inevitable. Even Newcomb's boy DDP, unfortunately. Yeah.
Trust me.
I know. I think did they give DDP a U.S. title run though? I swore.
Him and Christian had a nice little thing going there for a while. I think it was WrestleMania X8. Christian versus DDP.
Oh yeah, WrestleMania 18 is definitely it's up there. Was it 17 or 18?
No, it was 18 because 17 wasn't the invasion yet.
Right. 17 was a great WrestleMania though. I recall. I think.
Yeah.
Or am I still thinking? Or am I still thinking of 18?
I have all that because when I was stationed in Georgia back in 2005, I found the WrestleMania anthology. It was like $130 over at the PX. So, and the other day I was looking for the Royal Rumble anthology, and I found it for like $250. I'm like, yikes!
Right.
I was like, all right, so maybe
yeah, I was looking at that Peacock, and if I got sucked in because it was like $4.99 a month, unlimited WWE, and a bunch of other bullshit that I probably never watch.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind spending the $5, but I hear most of the content's been erased already.
It's not even $5. Most of it's like some premium content where they make you pay for the premium month, which is like $9.99 a month, and
you still get ads too, don't you?
They shit all over those ECW pay-per-views too. I've seen some of them before. There's nothing left of them. They edited the balls off of them.
Yeah, and see that's bad business. I'm sorry. It just.
It's just corny. It's just. Yeah.
So you should interview wrestlers like Okada, Ospreay, Jay White, Tama Tonga, Bushi, Naito. I mean, I don't know enough about New Japan to actually interview these guys just yet.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I've kept up with it here and there.
Yeah, I don't get the chance to watch New Japan anymore.
AEW should really take a run at Okada. I think that would be.
WWE was going to get their hands on him first.
Yeah, I know that would,
and that didn't work out so well.
Well, I mean, look at poor Nakamura. He's like a poverty version of himself now.
I know, and
so there's nothing. It's just fucking. They thought bringing out somebody to play the fucking guitar was going to put him over. It's like, come on.
And I just saw that tonight. They made Rick Boogs look like Freddie Mercury. I saw that tonight, and I said to myself,
they fucking General Rommel last week on Walter all of a sudden a neo-Nazi. Or it's what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, exactly, dude. How can you do this to your company? This is why we have cultures.
Like, I mean, it's like there has to be like a legitimate sanity check on fucking Vince. That I don't even think it was this bad when you had guys like Duke the Dumpster Drosy and fucking Bastion Booger and just all that cartoon era of like 3 years in the mid '90s. As bad as it is now, at least then you had like Bret Hart.
Now this Walter / Gunter type thing. Now I don't think it was the 80s. I think it was the late 70s. There was a Russian, or was it Iron Sheik, or was it a Russian wrestler that came over? They had him cut this massive Monster Heel promo, and it was so bad that he was getting death threats from the company was getting death threats too. As a matter of fact, they even it actually repeated itself in the 80s when Slaughter turned heel and joined the Iron Sheik.
Right.
They
Yeah,
said
in the
Slaughter was getting death threats through
Oh,
mail.
yeah, yeah.
You know, back
Right.
then
There was
technology didn't exist yet, so
it was who was the other guy? General Adnan with
yeah,
the Sheik and Slaughter in the middle of the Iraq, the Kuwait
yeah,
Iraq.
they were
That
holding the Iraqi flag, and it was just like,
right.
and they burned.
Jesus
Here,
God.
the only reason the death threats started
Yeah.
was because Slaughter burned the American flag on live TV, and I was
I
like,
believe it. Yeah. It's
so this also comes to show that even back then,
mhm.
our world was a sensitive society. It just wasn't as bad as it is today.
Sure,
But
sure.
the thing
And
is,
Vince always feasted off of shit like that back then.
like,
It was
the
even
WWE is a
before.
circus. We can admit to that.
Sure, sure, sure.
Always has been, always will be. It's a
Yep.
fucking circus that we used to love and know and love. I mean, there's some good talents on there, but there's also some really shitty talent. And it's like, what can we do to make that better? There's nothing we can do. We voiced our opinion time and time again. It's just a fact that who's really listening to us in the promotion anymore. So it becomes wasted breath. It becomes wasted opportunity and a waste of our time. So basically, now it's come to the conclusion of, like Triple H said one time in an interview, if you don't like our product, don't watch it. So guess what? People are now watching AEW. People are watching Impact. And now you got GCW on the rise.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's just the overall arrogance of it. Just the fact that Vince has always been arrogant, and it 1996 he finally fell behind too. But he was still arrogant. Vince is
Oh,
just
of
I think
course.
Vince is just Vince, and
Uh,
even
Yeah, and you're right. Vince is just Vince. And the thing with him is that he is very out of touch with reality in a
yeah,
way. And he's got all these guys that are running the business for him, pitching all these culture related ideas that have nothing to do with the culture going on today. It's completely
yeah,
ass backwards. I mean, there's one guy, Joe Gacy. We can use him for example. When NXT 2.0 started, I saw the promo on YouTube. He was basically a woke left wing social justice warrior, talking about
yeah.
this is
Oh
his
yeah.
safe space, this is his circle,
Hmm.
and like, I'm like, how did Vince not get canceled for this? Honestly, I think it was hilarious at the same time too, because we all know it's just a character. But it's the fact that he also took a shot at society, and now he's using Gunter. Just that's like you're throwing fuel right on the fire. You,
That
you
is
can't
true.
win
I
with
agree
Vince's
with Vince.
insanity.
I don't even know if Vince is sane right now, but yeah, you're probably right. It's just a
I think
fuck
it's
you
I
to
think it's
everybody.
gut check time for Vince.
Hmm.
Maybe some mental health awareness. I mean, I respect the guy for keeping the business going for as long as he has, but it's come to the point where the business is no longer watchable.
Yeah, I think the
NXT was
product is
it
just
used to be fun to
boring.
watch when we had guys like Johnny Gargano actually enjoying what he did, Johnny Entertainment, and then of course prior to all the neck injuries for what's his
I mean, how
face.
how do you let the undisputed era walk? That was very over. You know, they fucked around for not bringing it to their main roster, but
Yeah,
uh,
I mean,
that,
Tommaso
that
Ciampa, that's who I was talking about.
yeah,
Tommaso,
yeah,
prior to all the neck injuries, Vince sent him to the main roster, and he was about to get buried if he would have stayed there, and he knew what was going to happen. He said, either you keep me on NXT or I'm retiring. And that was a smart move, because the best part is,
mm,
if he were to retire from NXT, he'd retire from just the WWE, and he would only have a 30-day compete clause.
yeah,
So after
yeah.
30 days, he could show up at AEW or Impact. Um, I mean, honestly, I would probably rather work at Impact. The only thing that sucks is the viewership numbers are a whole lot lower than AEW's. But if he will work at AEW, he'd be at a risk of breaking his neck one day in a match, because they are roughneck style wrestling with super high
Yeah,
spots.
yeah. They work. It's no surprise. AEW, they work. It's not. I mean, you can tell the difference even in the ring between AEW and WWE as far as what they do. And
Yeah,
the
and
WWE scaled that bullshit back years ago, well, long before years ago.
I mean, wow, when you look at companies like AEW, AEW is a pure example of what WCW used to replicate. or used to be
Right.
replicated with. It's the same work style, honestly. As a matter of fact,
Hmm.
the ring scale looks exactly the same size, just maybe about a foot wider. It does everything
Yeah, it's not.
WCW
It's not. It's
did.
not. As we always like to joke around with it, the old ECW ring out, it's like the size of an in-ground pool, an above-ground pool.
Yeah.
Remember, Taz looked big. Taz looked big bouncing around an ECW ring. They put him in a WWE ring. It looked like a midget.
God. you,
It's the
you
truth.
ain't lying
But
there,
yeah,
man.
I know. NXT, CMP is a great wrestler. I think he would fit. I think he would fit in pretty well in AEW. Maybe not at the top because AEW is so top heavy. And then you got Cody kind of just meddles around in the US title or whatever they call the
The
TNT
TNT
title.
title. Yeah, as a matter of
And
fact,
it's
that
like
was just.
denigrating that title because he's never on TV all the time. They should have
And,
just kept
it's
it with
crazy
Sammy
because,
Guevara.
I respect Cody for helping revolutionize the company with AEW.
Yeah,
Him, the
yeah,
Bucks, Kenny Omega, all those guys, they were, the elite,
yeah.
man. They made something that
That's right.
we all wanted. The fact that, Cody overshadowed himself with this, this whole nightmare gimmick, and it's not really
Yeah.
working out so well. The fact that the crowd has turned on him time and time again, all they do is boo him. And of course, I'm waiting for that
All
breaking
right.
point where he does turn heel. I'm not sure if he has
Yeah.
yet, but
Right.
no, it is said here he is a free agent. He has not signed a new contract yet. There's a possibility he may show up at the
Right.
Royal Rumble, but
What, what's funny is like I had on the list that I made earlier about
uh,
what we're going to talk about, even though we just fucking blew by everything, and that's awesome. And I thought about just you bringing up Cody uh, is the storyline of the month because maybe Cody is just playing everybody and just fucking around with he wants everybody to bone, but and they have been boning him, but he's not going fully all the way with it. If that makes sense to you.
oh, absolutely. And when it comes to this whole Royal Rumble thing, I don't see him being the Forbidden Door entrant.
No, no
Honestly,
way, no
there's
way.
no way in hell he's already putting in too much time in AEW backstage.
And
He's
and
basically
not
like
even
the EVP
right.
back there.
Sure, and then just to interrupt, I don't think TNT would even allow that. I
No,
think they go something like that would go higher than Cody. You know, I think they got into it with TNT because it was something to compete with Vince and USA or
hmm
and Fox. Well, Fox to an extent. So,
yeah.
uh, I don't know. I mean, uh, I doubt it. I highly doubt anybody from AEW will be at fucking Royal Rumble. Mickey James is that's interesting. I'll probably watch
Yeah, I
because
mean,
she's
she
okay.
made that
So
loud
you
and
said TNA,
clear.
right? I always respect it and like Mickey James.
The thing, I was looking in the comments section on one of the dirt sheet sites, and
Hmm.
imagine she gets thrown out by someone that's really not worth the talent, and all of
That's
a sudden
probably
she
what'll
gets tossed
happen.
over ropes, and someone easily says she got tossed over like a bag of garbage, and you can imagine the feedback she's going to get out of that one because
Hmm.
that's what she was giving back to her with all her gear. So a box
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
garbage bag in it full of ring gear. So if
That
the
would be.
fact that she's
I don't.
gone to the WWE to do the Royal Rumble, that's kind of slapping the face to her and all the fans. I'm sorry,
No, I
that's my
agree.
honest
I
opinion.
agree. Yeah, I don't know if. I, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
torn.
have a feeling that
I'm
Knockout
torn on it.
Championship.
I'm torn on it because I think it's good for companies to work the promotions or whatever to work together. But like if you said if they did her like that, that would be totally inappropriate.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't think they would, but if they did, that would be fucked up.
oh, most most certainly, man.
Hmm. One thing they've already done it, and then to kind of expound on that'd be terrible.
Yeah, she's so apparently she's going to bring the Knockout Championship to the Royal
Hmm.
Rumble. The thing is, I don't think they're going to let her bring the actual title. I think they're just going to make one of them little cheap authentic titles like the WWE does for all their fans.
How would you feel if the situation was reversed and they had her win the Royal Rumble and dump the Knockouts title or whatever it's called these days into the trash?
Dude,
Not that
if
WWE would have the sense to
another
do something
Medusa,
along those lines.
if you
Yeah,
brought a
exactly.
Medusa
Right.
style angle into
Right.
this, that
Sure.
would
That'd be.
that would honestly, I think that would hurt Impact a tad bit. But you
I
know
don't know.
what? It's
I think
controversy. It's controversy. And what
exactly.
did Eric
I
Bischoff
right.
say?
There
Controversy
you go.
creates cash.
That's right. I think it would draw people again to watch at least TNA. Excuse me, at least TNA for a week or two. Kind of like the way when Kenny Omega won the TNA or the NWA Heavyweight Championship, where
Wherever the hell the
he,
Impact World Title, yeah, he was
or
over
the
on both
Impact at the
brands,
time, he was
and then
right, and
he
the people
had.
watched. People were interested.
Yeah, that brings me to the conclusion because he had Gallows and Anderson with him.
Hmm
Where have they been?
I think
I'll be
they
honest,
were
I haven't heard
They
nothing
were.
of them.
I'm pretty sure they were released, and they're on like a no compete right now. And no, they're back in TNA. They're still in TNA.
All right. Like I said, I haven't
Yeah.
watched TNA in God knows how
hmm
long.
Yeah, but
Probably
I
since
haven't
when
seen.
Omega won the title.
All right,
That's the
same
thing.
here.
As soon as TNA does something like that, and then all of a sudden things change around, the company becomes
Hmm
very forgettable, I should say.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely.
Like, I mean, you could do this Forbidden Door bullshit all
There's
day. It's
yeah,
not going to
yeah.
change nothing.
There's something about the production of TNA that it just it lacks. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
don't. I think the wrestling has always been at least above average, and
see,
sometimes
I already know
incredible.
what killed this company the way it did,
It's
and
just
that
the
was during the
production.
Hogan era and Dixie Carter era.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
ruined
You
everything. I
bring
mean, they did the
the
Aces and Eights thing,
sure.
and after
You bring
that, that was it. The company was basically, under the ground for that. Um,
Hulk Hogan was fucking a cancer when he was in his late 40s or mid 40s in WCW. Bring him into TNA 10 years later. Why do they expect a different fucking result? Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. It's baffling.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I respected Hogan when I was watching him in the WWF and WCW. Those Monday Night Wars, he helped develop that ground. He helped pave the way, but that was the 90s, and now here we are.
Right,
We are in
right.
2022. He came back in 2010 and he says, "Oh yeah, brother, we're going to bring in like 3 million people," and they didn't even break 1.5.
I believe it.
I'm like, "Oh, so much for TNA. That right there, that was their DOA.
Yeah,
That was the red flag of, well, just cut your ties and just move forward. Just do something different." And no, they kept the ball rolling with him, and
yeah,
it just kept getting worse, brother. Like,
yeah. And they brought in they brought in Brooke Hogan too.
yeah, like that was actually going to help the
Jeez, come
business.
on.
It did nothing.
Goodness gracious.
I like I said, I don't hate the family
No,
at
I
all.
don't. I mean,
As a matter of fact, you know, I respected the Hogans all this time.
yeah.
I mean, aside from the fact that, Nick vegetated a Marine in a Lamborghini off of a tree.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and then you got Linda. I mean, don't know much about her unless you watch Hogan Knows Best, and I will not watch that.
Linda looks like a bag of a saggy skin. She's just bleh. I don't know.
But I think the thing that hurt Hogan's reputation the most was that Bubba the Love Sponge dude. That right there, that was the career killer for Hogan. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's my honest opinion. I don't care.
Or Hogan dropping M bombs about his daughter.
Oh
Oh
God,
my
dude.
God.
Our
Goodness gracious.
our secret sex tapes that would create controversy.
Hogan's a fucking he became a clown.
Like that was just pure embarrassment. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
with all due respect, Hogan.
Right.
You did make a lot of poor decisions
Oh,
in the last
God.
15 years of your life, and
Yeah. I
playing
agree.
politics and wrestling too didn't help your career at
I
all at
think
the end.
Nick Hogan, I think he goes out with like a porn star now. He's awful, trash.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like porn, I wouldn't see myself with a porn star, but
I hear you.
Yeah, now we're off subject. Now I need to regroup here. Give me a second, y'all.
Talking
Let
of,
me get
we
off, let me
talked.
get off the
We
hub real quick.
started talking about porn stars. Bossy
All
looking
of a
up Brooke
sudden, it's
Hogan.
like now I'm going to have to watch something.
Looked up Brooke Hogan and found a dude with a dick.
Like I said, we are unscripted, unfiltered, and completely uncontrolled.
Brooke Hogan.
That's what I love about this show, and there's nothing that's going to stop that.
Then they played some shit like Linda was seeing a younger guy on the show. It's like, geez, this is awful. Then you had Hogan on Dark Side of the Ring talking about Liz and all that other bullshit that he was fucking Elizabeth. I highly doubt it.
No,
Maybe.
not while Macho was alive.
No way. He's a fucking maniac. He didn't even let her take his shit without his eyes on her.
I mean, hell, you remember the storyline with the Mega Powers, and as soon as Hogan caught Elizabeth,
they even went through it on Dark Side of the Ring. It was,
I mean, that shit was more legitimate than anything else.
Sure, absolutely. Then they actually did divorce, and Savage was insane. But I always wondered about Randy Savage. Like, where do you rate him on the pantheon of great wrestlers? And Savage was just excuse the pun, he was a savage on the mic early on. Even though he was fucking out of his mind.
I mean,
but,
the dude,
he
was scripted but unscripted. Like, as soon as he got into the danger zone, that's basically what it was for him. It was a danger zone for him being on the mic, man. Like, you thought Scott Steiner was insane. This guy was Macho Savage.
Sure, definitely. I mean, I think Savage set the bar for people like Shawn Michaels.
Oh,
he was incredible in the ring, and he was, he could handle himself on the mic, and I think that era, Randy Savage, DiBiase, of course, Jake the Snake. I wouldn't have to say Hogan. Hogan with all the vitamins, and Hogan the character was just unprecedented too. So.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot you could say about Hogan. As a matter of fact, I have a photo around here, too, as a matter of fact. My uncle took us to a live show back in the late 80s, early 90s, before the Attitude Era kicked in. Yeah, it was early 90s then. And of course, back in the day, the superstars, the big stars were there. Hogan was there, Big Boss Man, Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, the golden era legends. And it's just the fact that he met Hulk Hogan and had some pictures taken with him, and they did a prayer. I was like, no way.
Nice.
I didn't get to see it all, but I saw the pictures. My uncle got VIP backstage. I know like a year or two later, I ended up getting some backstage VIP access. I was like maybe 10 or 11, somewhere around there.
This was the WWF?
Yeah, they had a live event over at the Hershey Park Stadium. It was the summertime, and they did a battle royale type thing. And during that, I got picked to go backstage to see tons of stars. Of course, at the time, I was scared shitless. I didn't know what was going on, so I got taken back to the locker room. And let me tell you, I wasn't sure if I was in fear or the fact that I was just sniffing so much Bengay that my eyes teared up, and I'm like, I can't. This is too much for me. But I saw so much talent. There was one guy, I don't know, it almost looked like Bruno Sammartino laying on a bench in there, recovering from his match. Like, I can't remember the entire event, but all I know is I saw a little rally. I saw Jimmy Hart. I saw Andre the Giant. Couldn't remember everybody. I think I saw Big John Studd as well. And it was just... It was a cool moment to actually experience.
I can imagine. Yeah,
but as a kid, I didn't understand it because I didn't know who all these people were at first. But when I saw them on TV down the road, I was like, I saw these guys backstage the one time, and people were like, "No, you didn't." I was like, "Yeah." Like, people wouldn't believe it because I was just a kid. But this is the stuff I remember for the rest of my life. Of course, when I was at Walter Reed, right before I got out, this is right around the time I met you guys on
that's when you met.
I got to go to the Verizon Center for 2 different shows, and both were Raws. Sadly, the first Raw I went to was like the week before Christmas, and that day was very brutal for me because that morning I found a soldier unconscious in his room and passed away later that evening. And I was like, I had to explain a whole lot of stuff to, like, the base police, basically CID. They had to investigate the entire situation, and I was like,
sad.
and it wrecked me, and I didn't get to enjoy the entire show. But the entire time I was there, we got VIP access. We were backstage, and we got to meet all kinds of talents. One of the talents was Jimmy Hart, and he was telling me about how his son was actually overseas on deployment right now. I forget what infantry division he was with, but he was over there doing all the fighting while we get to finally sit back and relax at home. And I got my picture taken with Jimmy Hart that day. I looked like a ghost. I was so pale from that evening, and of course I kind of grew a beard during that time because I was on a no shave profile. So it was just like I looked like a civilian, but I was still.
What was the name? What was the name of that profile?
The name of that profile? No shave profile.
No shave profile.
Yeah, that's what they call it in the Army. When you have something that you can't do, like shave, or or if you're on like light duty, they call it a profile. As a matter of fact, if you were to go to Wikipedia and you look up Jimmy Hart, I'm cropped out of the photo.
Yeah, we've all seen that.
I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
That's a great. It's funny. That's a great picture.
I'm credited out of the photo. I'm credited, but I'm
Jimmy
cropped.
Hart with.
Yeah, with me. Yeah.
But they had your name up in there.
Yeah, my name's on there still. They? Yeah, so if people want to know who I really am, go to Wikipedia and you'll know who I am. I don't care anymore, honestly.
On a side note, you made it if you're made Wikipedia.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, no shit.
There you go.
And I think it's still there.
You made it, boss.
I am Wikipedia material.
Mm-hmm.
The cropped side of things, but it's alright. I'm still fucking there.
The mouth of the South with solid balls.
Yes, dude. It's just like as
Don't
soon as I saw that,
there.
like I even looked on other profiles, like wrestling profile sites. A lot of folks have me in there as well as cropped out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, no shit. I'm like all over the internet now.
You should email all of them and say that. I want to be in this. This is a violation of my. This is defamation of character, and I want to be included in this fucking picture.
I mean, I could do that as well, or at least pay me royalties.
You could start a whole account. The guy with Jimmy Hart.
You know what? I won't even do that. You know why? Because if I do that, they'll remove the picture.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think that one all the way through.
Be like, oh, this motherfucker wants something. We tried to make him famous. Now he wants more. Like,
yeah, baby. He got Jimmy Hart screaming in the microphone at you. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. How you doing, baby? Wait, what?
Jimmy was pretty damn good though.
Dude, Jimmy was awesome. I got to see him back in March of 2007, the road to WrestleMania.
Right.
Got to do a follow-up, see how his son's doing, and he's like, yeah, he's about to be home soon, and I was like, that's great, man. I haven't talked to him since, and I hope him and his son are doing great. I mean, Jimmy looks like he's doing good for himself. He still works with the WWE once in a while. He does more like scout talent or talent scout stuff and behind the scenes work. But he looks like he's doing great. He also goes on the road promoting stuff.
That's good.
But,
I mean, Jimmy was always I don't know. He felt, even when he was in WCW, he wasn't annoying. Yeah, I always liked
the gimmick was annoying with the fucking megaphone.
It was fine. I think that was. I remember being live like 5 rows back at a WWF event in like '93. One of the first times I went to Spectrum, which is in.
Philly, yeah.
Yeah.
The old Flyers arena. Actually, that was all their arenas, wasn't it?
It was
a multi-arena.
It was the Flyers and the Sixers. Yep.
Yeah,
they used to have tons of WWF events there. At WCW actually ran events at the old convention center, which was a totally different experience. Obviously, ECW did the whole Swanson and Rittner.
Yeah,
but the WWF Spectrum events are very underrated. They had a whole library of them on WWE Network a long time ago when when they first, not when they first opened up, at least 2 years in before they started just becoming corny. Uh, I saw Ricky the Dragon Steamboat there, and he actually shooting fire.
Oh God,
And
is that what that
but
dragon
then,
gimmick they had him
yeah,
do?
the dragon gimmick. And as a kid, you thought, oh, that's awesome. But then later on, you realize that holy shit, they wasted Ricky Steamboat. Uh, it's unfathomable, to be honest with you. And I
Man,
think that's it's like not doing something with Ricky Steamboat at that time, even if he wasn't fully healthy, is comparable to blowing a draft pick. I don't think that WWE or Vince gets compared as much on his failures as he does like his successes.
yeah, fucking
Just because he's like they don't treat it as sports. They treat it as like a carny type thing, and that's what it is because that's how it treats it. And like
I know, man, and like we say time and time again, that WWE has become nothing more than a carny business now. I mean,
right, yeah, it's
I
just
don't mind the carny stuff because you see a lot of it in the indies. Just the fact that we're seeing it on actual live television more than we are out in the independent scene now because they're trying to take wrestling a little bit more serious. Unless you go to some
right.
like dive bar
No,
based
and I,
promotion.
yeah, yeah, and I hate to use the word carny wrong because indie wrestling is going to have or going to be somewhat carny, obviously. But
Yeah,
for Vince McMahon to still operate that way in a carny fashion is fucking.
it's an
It's like
insult, man.
it's like China. It's like fucking China. You're not paying people that are sacrificing their lives in the ring, and I hate to be a soft motherfucker about this,
Yeah,
but yeah, dude, they are using their bodies every night. You make them pay for their own health insurance.
yeah. You think
Like
they
what the
would like
fuck? It's
compensate on
fucking
that?
no.
But
They don't
no,
do that.
that's not how it works.
How
Like,
many? How many? You could create a. I would like to see a list over the past 20 years of who Vince released when they were hurt.
yep.
And it would be a fucking hundred. It would be 100 people plus at least.
Yeah, and of course, here's the worst part of this whole thing, and I'm glad you mentioned the whole health insurance thing. I can guarantee you why. When you look at their contract status, it's not they're employees, but they're not. They're independent contractors,
No,
which
yeah,
is
exactly. Right.
which is why
Yep.
they won't throw insurance their way because
Yep.
they make them their own liability instead of saying,
Sure.
"Oh, well, if you get hurt, we'll take care of you." No, that's not how it works in Vince's world. Just like
Yep.
most of these businesses. I mean, Impact Wrestling is another prime example of that business because back in the early days, most of their top tier talent from the X division, look at let's see, Sanjay Dutt. He was dealing with shoulder injuries time and time again, and he had to take care of his own medical expenses. TNA wasn't helping with that. Low Key had a couple injuries. He had to take care of that on his own too. There was like three other talents that had very multiple based injuries, and they couldn't afford the expenses anymore. Hell, let's see, who else do we got? Legends of the past. Of course, sadly, he's older now and he really can't perform in the ring anymore. But Brian Knobbs, if you remember him from the Nasty Boys.
Of course.
He's been on a lot of bed rest for the last few years because of some illnesses, but most of it is related due to his wrestling career. Sadly, the guy wasn't a high impact wrestler, but think about it, you're a big dude doing a lot of heavy work and you're carrying a lot
Yeah.
of weight around and you're abusing your body. I don't know what he did out in the
Yeah.
independent scene afterwards. I
Nah,
did
you're,
see him
you're
live at a high school gym event back in high school.
they're from Allentown, the Nasty Boys. That's
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure Brian Knobs
Oh,
is still up there
Brian.
living. I'm not sure
Yeah.
about Jerry
Sa-
anymore.
Jerry Knobs was really good friends with Hogan. He was always
Hogan,
down in
yeah.
Tampa. Yeah, he used to be on the that Bubba the Love Sponge show all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Bubba the Love Sponge here and
Nah, I
there. You know,
mean,
he's
not
kind of,
not
honestly,
me.
I'll be
Yeah,
honest, he's a douchebag to me.
yeah. I never really got into any of that shit.
Like, I mean, I know he was trying to do things to boost up, promotions
Yeah,
like
he was a
Impact, but
fucking
the way he treated Amazing Kong, yeah, he's the reason Kong quit Impact. And as soon as she left, and months later he was gone too. And then
yeah.
years down the road she returned, but she was helping more of a Hall of Fame type thing for her and Gail Kim.
Right.
Bringing
Yeah,
back an old
and
legacy.
Kong is so interesting because she was on Glow, of course. Everybody knows that. I, that was a that was a good show.
I haven't
I
watched
really
that yet.
enjoyed that show.
I don't think is this still
It's a good
being.
Glow. Yeah,
I wasn't sure if they were still making any more episodes to Glow. I saw the preview when I lived in Florida, but I never got to watch it.
yeah.
So
I think it's up to season 3. She's good in it. They tell the story well. But yeah, like you think Vince even I think she just had it. Vince picked her up. WWE signed her, but then she got pregnant.
yeah, and that
So
kind of
it's
screwed
just
things up. So they did
right, and then
breakdown
she was
gimmick
on the
and she left.
show. Yeah, I think TNA or AEW would benefit from Awesome Kong, just even because of the glow factor
Yeah, I
that
mean,
she was on.
no, she did come back to the WWE a couple years later. She was a surprise
Mhm.
entrant in the Rumble, but she was quickly eliminated, which was sad.
Yeah,
But
I remember
because
that.
they
You're
brought her
right.
back as
You're right.
Karma again, but it didn't work out for her. It was just a one and done type thing. And oh, hey, look,
Yeah.
all right, so let me go ahead and pay attention to chat real quick now. What about the whole Bully Ray Brooke Hogan storyline in TNA?
That's funny. Yeah, that's what that's one thing I was actually thinking about when I mentioned Brooke Hogan was Bubba.
When Bubba
Yeah.
finally went to
That was-
Aces and Eights, I was like, good.
yeah. Yeah, I
And
remember
have you
that.
talked
And
about Andre the
what
Giant yet? We haven't. Well, I mentioned Andre's name earlier because I got to see him backstage back in the early
right.
'90s, way before
hmm
his death. That
If you stop and think, if has anybody seen the Andre the Giant HBO documentary?
no,
You definitely
actually, you
have
know
to
what?
watch.
No, I think I did
You
see
gotta
some of
watch.
that because it was
Yeah,
on.
you
It
gotta watch
leaked on
that.
YouTube that one year,
Yeah,
and
you
I
gotta
had it on
watch
my one
that.
hard drive. And after I
Uh,
moved to Florida, it was gone. I do
yeah,
want to see it again.
mhm,
Now I remember seeing the early years of Andre videos that leaked on YouTube years and years and years ago.
yeah.
Uh, Andre was a tall kid in his
Oh,
teenage years, dude. Like,
hmm yeah.
and the thing was, he didn't care about wrestling at the time. He was basically a fucking lumberjack out in the woods. But as soon as someone
He
said, "Hey, you should
literally
try wrestling,"
right.
he tried it. He loved it.
Yeah, he was literally a giant. He was
He was a gentle giant at that, man.
he was in the French Alps, where
Yeah,
the French Alps you have got a lot of gnomes, and all of a sudden there's Andre the Giant, all 7'6" of them.
dude. Like, let me tell you, Andre was one of the kindest wrestlers from what I've been
Yeah,
told, and like,
Andre was the original. You know, they always talk about the Undertaker runs the clubhouse, the guys, the locker room.
yeah,
But Andre was the guy that invented that role. You know,
yeah,
he 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 set the standard. He ran the show for Vince, while
yep.
Vince was, you know, Vince had his fucking characters and
The
his
only,
ruthlessness, but Andre, when he signed Andre to run the locker room, it's all business.
yep. Imagine if Andre was alive and kicking, and he saw what was happening today. I wonder what he would think. I wonder how he would feel about the business, at least the
He,
current
he,
state of WWE.
Christ Almighty, looking at him when he was 42 by now, like, he'd feel pretty fucking bad. I'd have to imagine.
Like, don't get me wrong. I love the WWE with a passion. As a matter of fact, back in
I
fall
don't know.
time, I busted my collection out and actually started putting it back up on my wall. Something I haven't done in over 2 years. So it was just like, paying my respects to the company because there's legends I have on my wall and future Hall of Famers as well. And
Mm,
it's just the
mm,
fact that,
mhm.
there's all these guys I grew up to respect the shit out of. That's the reason I carry on the tradition of, the legacy of the WWE, because of those guys. Those guys are,
Yeah.
paved the way. And then you get all these new talents that are coming in from all their promotions. They're trying to make the best out of their career now, but Vince is destroying them by not helping them get put over. I mean, I get it's a business. I get you trying to elevate every character by any means, but the way he's doing it is just completely ass backwards. It's not benefiting anybody, And if you try to put yourself over without his approval, he's going to bury you, or maybe even worse, fire you. But it's just, it's an ass backwards corporation now. It's ever since they went public, that's what basically killed this company. When they were their own private company and they were running things like the Attitude Era, they were doing things on their own, and it helped them. We talk about how crazy the Attitude Era was, how degenerate the fan base was. It might have been insane, but it was only insane for that show. It wasn't like that 24/7 365 outside of the place, unless you had a few bad apples that were saying suck it in high school.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's funny as shit, because honestly I would have done the same thing. But when I was,
remember DX rolling up on the fucking tank outside Turner headquarters? That was
no, wait, was it Turner headquarters or was it well, oh yeah, that's right.
It was outside the
was,
arena.
They were, that was
It was outside of Nitro.
They were in Hampton, while the
there you
WWF or WWE was over in the Scope. They were over at the Scope, while WCW was over at the Hampton Arena. It's funny
what's it? That was in Atlanta, right?
No, that was Virginia.
Okay.
They were in Virginia. I remember when I was stationed there, I used to drive by the Scope. When I got married, we got a car, and I drove by the Scope because I used to take bus rides there, because the Scope is between Norfolk, the naval station Norfolk. It's right in the city, and on the other side is the underpass, the tunnel to go over to Portsmouth, and that's where the Navy shipyard is at. So I get to see the Scope every time I went around that area. And right beside the Scope is the General MacArthur Mall. So it's just like I have a nice little history from when I lived down that way. And
I was going to say, boss, you've been all up the East Coast.
Dude,
you're Mr. East Coast.
Technically, I am, man. I'm the whole fucking East Coast, and I'm tired of going
That's
up
right.
and down
There
it,
you
man.
go.
I've been on every stretch of
blame
I-95 from Pennsylvania all the way down to fucking Florida. No
There you
more,
go,
man. That's
right.
just too much.
That's right, Mr.
Too old
East
for
Coast.
this shit. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. But yeah, when I lived in Newport News, I would take.
You lived in Newport News since when? I never heard this.
Okay,
story.
so I was.
Hold on, real quick. Who lived in Newport News?
Who?
Allen Iverson and Michael Vick.
Oh no shit.
So that one goes out.
Good old Iverson, man.
There you go.
Good old. That's a Sixers legend right there, Hall of Famer.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
None but respect for Iverson, man. You'll never have a humble player like him ever again.
Mm.
And coming from me, a guy that doesn't watch basketball anymore. I used to. I mean, he had his fair share of issues, but I think he's one of the greatest players of all time on the Sixers. I'm sorry, hands down.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, absolutely. It's unbelievable that where you are.
He was the East Coast version of Kobe Bryant. I'm sorry.
That's right. He was bigger. Kobe used to just. I think AI was at first better than Kobe, but yeah, Kobe.
I mean, Kobe did step up his game. I mean, it sucks that we lost him to a helicopter incident.
That's right.
And rest in peace to him, man.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll never have guys like those ever. I mean, we might, but it's going to take some time.
AI was, he was an icon, absolutely. Even AI. I don't know. There's something different about that guy, but I don't know. There was nothing really that different. He played basketball.
I played basketball in high school. I wasn't on the team or nothing. I just played in gym class because I'm a white boy. I can't jump. I can shoot, but I can't jump.
I tell you, I used to ball out, definitely.
You know, I actually bought basketballs over the summer for my boys to play at camp, and
Yeah, you should. Basketball should be high up on the list of sports for your young boys to play.
actually, fun fact, metal. This summer, when the boys were here, we would go camping about an hour over. What was it? Hour west from here. They had, of course, it's a concrete court, man. It's not just
Oh
any
yeah,
asphalt.
yeah. You know what? It's funny is I used to. That's funny. You bring. I was playing on blacktop concrete. Uh,
Concrete is the worst to land on. I'm sorry.
it's by far the worst to land on because you don't. It doesn't break your fall.
No, it
And plus
doesn't. It
the
breaks you
ball,
before it breaks the fall.
the ball does not bounce well on concrete.
No.
It
Okay.
bounces. The ball bounces up.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Go ahead, man. I want to hear this.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm telling you about the way the ball bounces, and it's like 11:34 in the p.m. But yeah, if you're on a concrete court, the ball bounces straight up.
Yeah. Like you gotta have the right turf to play on, because if you're not playing on like a semi-waxed
Turf.
wooden floor or wooden ground, you're
I
not
don't
gonna
know,
get the
boy.
experience. I mean, street ball is one thing, but professional
Yeah,
courts
yeah.
are a whole lot better. I mean, when you land on wood and wax, you got a little bit more forgiveness, but when you land on
Mhm.
shit like asphalt and concrete, it's going to fucking hurt.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I would. I
it'll
would
hurt
agree.
on wood, but it's going to hurt a
Mhm.
whole lot less because you're actually going to slide. Now, with shit like concrete, this summer, the boys and I, we were playing some ball with some other kids at camp. But here's the thing. They like to park their bikes on the damn court. And I'm like, can you please take your bikes off here so we can play? And no one listened. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to play. And I was running to get the ball. As a matter of fact, I wasn't wearing the right attire at the time. I was wearing shorts. I was wearing a short sleeve shirt, but I was wearing my hiking boots because that's all I wear when I go to camp. It's not like you're gonna, my hiking boots had no comfort, no support. I turn around and retrieve the ball, and I turn around and the bikes are right in front of me. So I lost my balance, and let's just say my whole right side hurt for an entire week and a half. And I was scratched up, bruised up. It actually black and blued in my knee. I thought I tore something. I had to go get that checked when I got home. And the entire week, I was just like limping. There was no fun experience out of that one at all. But I finished the game up. We played for about an hour, and after a while, I was just like, I can't take the pain anymore. I was like, let's go back to the camp. But fucking concrete. Nah, honestly, it's not worth suing for the fact that I get free medical care. If I get hurt, I get hurt. If I have to get surgery, so be it. It's taken care of by the U.S. government. So, any incident that ever happens to me, it is covered by my medical facility. So, but I mean, I get where you're coming from because they left their shit on the court. But it's a bunch of kids. We live in a whole new world, and suing really doesn't do shit anymore. So you sit there for months waiting for a settlement. I mean, you could easily charge them the cost of what it would be, even though I don't have to pay for it at all. But there would be it would basically pain and suffering that they would have to pay for. And honestly, I like pain. So, but it does kind of suck that I had to deal with that.
That's too funny. That's too funny.
We come from the land of extreme. You of all people should know that.
Yeah, I know that. You're up in fucking. You know what I was thinking about the other day is that you went from the Sunshine State back to fucking Steelton, and you know what I mean. It's just. I give you credit for that one.
Dude, I came back here with no thought of mind. Nothing.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
But you know what? It's just the fact that I'm here now and I'm living in. This is the land of extreme. This is like mini
That's
Philadelphia.
Right. There you
Actually,
go.
it's been quite calm ever since our neighbors got evicted out of their houses. There's been no shootings on this block anymore. There's been no fights.
You ain't had
nothing, man.
Right. You ain't had to pick up the barbed wire bat.
No, no need for it. Don't ask y'all. But yeah, it's just like
that's it.
But yeah, there's no need to arm up. It's pretty safe here for now. It's actually like my sons when they came up here for Christmas, dude. We can say that it was a good Christmas because it was peace and quiet. Or not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, it was bad. It was really bad. People were playing their music super loud around here. Everyone was disrespectful. Like, it didn't even feel like Christmas. I was just like, you know what? Who gives a shit anymore? Yeah, but this year, it gave me somewhat of hope. So it's like, I'm living in an area that's trying to clean itself up in some way. But, I mean, the town can do better, but it's a step-by-step process. It just can't happen overnight. But CM Grinch, I am far from a Grinch. Let me tell you, I am the most grateful motherfucker in the world. Man, I will time your ass out.
Did somebody call you CM Grinch?
CM Grinch.
That's all.
It's alright. Do it. Why? That would just ruin all the fun. Then there would be one less person that would talk.
Oh.
He ain't scared. Look at that. He's
Must be
calling
me.
me out. Look at that.
Could be, man.
Trolling motherfucker. We love you, man.
Yeah. Alright, okay.
Oh, shit. I ain't scared. He's already preparing for a severage package.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man.
Gonna end up on a Wooders interview on Fox News.
Yo, you know what? We're gonna do this. He ain't scared. I got a challenge for him. He can bring his ass to Steel Town. Fucking. He can lay on a fucking a table from Japan, and I can be a Buffalo Bills fan and jump off of a ledge right onto him. You ain't scared now. You'll be scared after that, though. 285 pounds of pure fucking God knows what I am anymore. But this fat fuck like me will destroy someone.
You think, boss? You think you could get some jump on it on the table like that?
Dude, I got enough weight to go down on it. You will break every bone in my body. See, there you go. I'm trying not to hurt you, man. Because of how heavy I am.
I'll set the table up for you.
You know what? Let's make it easier. We'll set the table on fire, put it out, and then it'll be a little bit easier to break. So that way it breaks this fall.
There you go.
As a matter of fact, just to make you feel better, Metal, we're going to put some padding underneath you and underneath the table. As a matter of fact, we just might put padding around you too, just so you don't break. So, now that the challenge is accepted, when do you want to do it? May as well lose 100 pounds. No, I don't want to be that small, dude. I actually like the weight that I carry, man. It's,
you gonna fly off that motherfucker like Bam Bam Bigelow, boss. I can see it right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, dude. As long as I don't pedigree his ass like Triple H did to that one guy, damn near broke his neck.
Yeah, that's sad.
I felt bad for that guy. That guy survived, thank goodness. But may he rest in peace somewhere.
Yeah. I hope he's I don't mean to be an asshole. I hope he's still mobile.
Yeah. Shit. Man, now you got me wanting to wrestle. God damn it. So let's see, it's 11:42. Holy shit, we've been live for 1 hour and 37 minutes, man.
Nice.
I mean, I know you did your AFK for a while, but man, we carried this show on pretty good tonight. So so we're gonna get ready to wrap it up here shortly, y'all. I said the plans are to talk past, present, future. We're gonna talk about every era, every other week. We're gonna try to randomize things. I know Chaos has a whole lot he'd like to talk about.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna unveil the list next week. The list.
I give a Dave Meltzer rating of 2. Motherfucker, this is in the Tokyo Dome. You're going to give us 10 stars, and you're going to like it.
Yeah, we're all right.
But yeah, he's got 21 different ideas of how to do things, and I'm going to have a 12-page dialogue to go along with it. We will do some live reactions to AEW Rampage. once in a while, give our thoughts and insights on that. We will, as a matter of fact, if you want, I can even do recaps. Watch maybe some Raw, SmackDown recaps, see what's going on. Try to catch up slowly. I really don't want to watch WWE programming anymore. I mean, I like talking about the past stuff because the stuff we grew up to is what matters the most to us.
Yeah. We gotta watch an old a classic and just pick through it like like wrestling coaches, like you know what I mean. We'll just pick through this motherfucker and just it'll be like X's and O's on a chalkboard.
Fuck yeah.
All right,
But
I'm down with that.
for those who tuned in, man, there was quite a few on here tonight, and I appreciate the chatting.
We'll be back. We'll be back.
Yes, we will definitely be back here Friday night next week.
Stay tuned.
10 p.m. Eastern, like you said. Stay fucking tuned. We are unfiltered and unscripted for the time being. With that being said, y'all have a good night. This is Chaos, and this is Styles, and we will see you on another episode of Destroying Kayfabe and the Chaos Theory. Good night.